Okay. I think I got this set up better today than I had yesterday, so I could keep up with the chats and don't have to go back and look at them. Hey, what's going on, Hadassah? Yeah, how are you and the family doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, this is something that's been on my mind for some months. This is something that's been on my mind for some months. Uh, I have a clip that I want to show. I have a clip that uh, I want to show. By the way, this is Prophet Rohei Nabi with the One Tough Guy channel. And most of the time, what we do is just we study the Bible and stuff like that. But from time to time, I'll talk about, things that are in the news cycles, current events. Now, this is not a current event channel, but from time to time, as is appropriate, I will uh, digress from Bible teaching, and we'll just look at some things that's just happening in the world. We don't want to become so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good. So I have a clip here that I'd like to share with you all. And I don't know if you all know it because, everything is so, Americans are so much rugged individualists that we don't really uh, calculate the collateral effects of being in the matrix. Now, let me say this. I don't believe that I am detached from the matrix. I don't believe that. There's too much evidence saying otherwise. However, I do understand that the matrix exists. I do understand how I am prey to that system. Am I totally detached? No, because I'm still in captivity. I had a breakfast with a young man uh, a few weeks ago, and we were sitting down, and I don't think he's ever had a man talk to him like I talked to him. I don't think he's ever had that because when I'm talking to people, I'm always trying to ascertain how clicked in to the matrix they are. Are they clicked in to the point where they will defend the matrix by even becoming a sacrifice? Are they associated with a matrix in the context of they realize that it is an enemy, while others believe that the matrix is really God? So I'm always trying to ascertain and discern how attached a person is to the matrix. What was that guy's name? The Agent Smith?
Yeah.
Are they a Agent Smith? Are they a Neo? Are they a Morpheus? I'm always trying to figure out. So I watch people's words, their body language, their gestures, their habits, their addictions, their predispositions. And I'm always weighing. I'm always like, I wonder. And so far, even before the movie came out, now I didn't know the Matrix as the Matrix, as is described in the movie, but I always knew that the Matrix exists because I just would see glitches and stuff. From a child, I would see glitches. And I'm going to show you a glitch right now. This one is more obvious. This one is a little, this one is not as innocuous as some others are that I'm about to share with you in this clip. But I want to play this clip for you. Who's in there? Melchizedek, Batia, Zavidua. Zavidua. Could you go upstairs and get my Beats pill and bring it to me? Thank you. It's somewhere up there somewhere. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere up there. Thank you. I want to get my Beats pill so I can make sure you all have stupendous audio quality. But people, let me tell you something. There is something to be said about homelessness in America, the homeless crisis in America, natural disasters, and emergency preparedness. There's something to be said about this. Thank you, baby. Because it's sad that the men of God, these so-called men of God, will have these mega churches in a flood zone. And they know it flood every year, and they have nothing to say about how God is going to save them from this flood or how to get prepared for the flood. They are not preppers like, and yes, you do have preppers in the Bible. Noah was a prepper. Yes, Noah was a prepper. Okay. And they thought he was a wild fanatic. They were saying stuff like, it don't take all that. Why are you putting extras on it? But I want to play this clip for you.
3 nights a week. This is her routine.
Oh, let me go back a little bit. Watch this, y'all.
End of the Great Recession in 2000.
This is a glitch in the Matrix, y'all. It's a glaring glitch, and we'll watch this and just keep it moving. But this is something that really needs to be pondered. Not become paranoid and no, but it's something that you need to really pay attention to, this type of stuff.
2010.
When it comes to
a
the
one-night
news
government
cycles.
census earlier this year counted nearly 554,000 homeless people, and that's up nearly 1% from 2016. This is what surging homelessness looks like in Silicon Valley. Take a look at this. People living in RVs.
Now, Silicon Valley is one of the richest pieces of real estate in the world. And you're looking down the street of the area in Silicon Valley. And what you're seeing is a glitch in the matrix. If this is not a glitch in the matrix, I'd like to know what is. This is what they're telling us to depend on. Information technology, Google, Cisco, Uber. Is this the price we have to pay for advanced technology? Homelessness?
Parked along major streets, Maria Villarreal shows us how the high cost of housing is fueling the crisis. English professor Ellen James Penny is the kind of teacher whose job goes far beyond simple classroom instruction. And I love it. And I love my students. They drive me nuts, but I love it. So this is essay one. But her campus at San Jose State University is located right in the middle of Silicon Valley, where tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Apple have helped drive housing prices to stratospheric highs. The housing takes up 3/4 of my monthly income. So to stay here and to teach, which is what I love, I have to live in the car. 3 nights a week, this is her routine.
Now, I don't know if you all are listening to this, but this lady is a professor in a university and she's homeless. She goes to work every day. She went to school, got her education. She did everything Big Mama and them told her to do. Get your education, get your papers, and guess what? She's homeless. Working at a place, by the way, working at a place where the real estate value is almost the most in the world. Rent prices are the most in the world. But yet she's living in a car with her husband and a dog. This is not a glitch in the matrix. You often hear people talk about living check to check. What is she? Well, if living check to check, what is this? If you're homeless and going to work every day, how are you living? Check. Would you describe that as check to check or what? I mean, how do you describe? How do you quantify? How do you categorize how this lady, Caucasian lady, by the way, is living? If living check to check is having a roof over your head, and by the time your next check comes, you're broke. If that's what living check to check is, what is this? Hey man, the curses are starting to turn on the rulers of Babylon. They're getting a taste of their own evil. Exactly. Absolutely.
After her 4 classes end, James Penny, along with her husband and 2 dogs, sets up camp in a church parking lot near campus. Her 65-year-old husband, Jim, can't work because of a back injury. So when it comes time to grade papers, her office is this 2004 Volvo. Being homeless and trying to teach here is almost impossible.
We are seeing people who are being forced either to move out of the area completely, fall into homelessness, or find some way to make life work for them.
So gentrification is not just impacting Black people. Gentrification is happening to everybody. And it looks like the people that are less prepared for gentrification are the actual ones that's doing it, the actual ones that's driving. You don't see Black people gentrifying anybody's neighborhood. Hello. You don't see Black people gentrifying anybody's neighborhood because they have something that is called redlining. So Black people don't have the power to gentrify anybody's neighborhood. You've never seen us gentrify anything. This lady has what people would call a stable job, a well-paid job. She's a professor, got a PhD, and she lives in her car. She don't even live in a van, y'all, a car. And this is an older woman. She go to work every day. A lot of Caucasian people on the East Coast, in the San Francisco Bay Area, they're getting their behinds kicked. You got engineers living on the street, doctors living on the street and going to work every day in California. I know this sounds crazy. I know it sounds like I'm making this up, but the lady that you're looking at right now is a professor at a university, right smack dab in the middle of Silicon Valley, and she's homeless. Well, she don't want to move. She says she's the 4th generation Californian. And not only that, she's older. She's going to have a hard time finding another job with her age. I think she might be tenured at the university as she's at. So she got a lot of roots, economic roots and incentives to stay right where she is. But the bottom line is she can't afford to live there. And I doubt I doubt now, because of how old she is, she's able to live anywhere else. Well, let's let her tell her story, Perry Gibson, because this is something that is really picking up a lot of momentum in the past 5 years. And not just in California, Florida, New York. This is going on everywhere. Chicago.
Tom Myers runs a social services agency in Mountain View, the home of Google and the town next to San Jose. This is surprising.
Yes.
It's a major thoroughfare.
It's a major thoroughfare here in Mountain View.
At last count by government officials, there were more than 300 of these RVs on the streets of Mountain View. Some estimate there are more than 1,000 all over Silicon Valley.
10 years ago, we were serving somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 people. Today, we're serving close to 10,000 people.
More than tripled.
Yes, exactly. Most of that growth has been in the last few years.
Housing experts say it's a problem of supply and demand. California officials estimate the state needs to build about 180,000 new housing units each year to keep up with population growth. On average, developers are building less than 80,000 per year. The result? A current gap of 1.5 million units between families who need housing and rentals they can afford. Ray Pearl is with the California Housing Consortium.
I think the incentive is there to build. I think the policies that the state of California has enacted makes it incredibly difficult to get that housing built.
You keep your life, up here. Ellen James Penny has tried unsuccessfully to get teaching jobs elsewhere in the country. But even if she gets one, giving up and moving won't be easy.
So she has tried to get jobs other places in the country. And for whatever reason, she's been unsuccessful. I mean, this is an older lady, okay? So she's going to have a lot of experience that a lot of people are not going to be able to pay for. They're not going to want to pay for it. They're going to find somebody younger, and they're going to pay them less. They're going to be more healthy and everything. My best friend is wanting to leave California as well. She's been there, been her entire life, 50 years, and says it's getting way too expensive. She runs a daycare making $5K a month and still not enough. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, they say if you live in Silicon Valley and you make $100,000, you're going to be homeless. If you make $100,000 a year and you live in the Silicon Valley area, you're going to be homeless. You could easily be homeless. Let me say it that way. Let me be a little conservative. You could easily be homeless. And I think that's what's happening with this lady here. Well, the same thing is in New York. The same thing is in New York. They say in New York, if you make $100,000 a year, you can hardly buy anything. It's just very expensive in those places. And I think a lot of us are attracted to these real big metropolises. And what we need to do is just live more simply and more frugally. We really need to have a brain change. We really need to live a minimalist lifestyle. These cities are out of control, y'all. They're out of control. Let me tell you something. I got a friend on my Facebook page. He lives in the ghetto. I mean, the stone hard ghetto. He's paying $1,200 a month for rent. Well, guess what? His building got bought. The new owner said in 3 months, the rent is going to double. So he's going to be paying $2,400 a month for the same place. Now, he works already close to, he lives close to where he works at. So anywhere it go, he's going to have to spend more money. Y'all, it is getting difficult out here in these streets. Whether you move, whether you commute, yeah, it is getting difficult. And I think we should be looking for other living strategies, not just to offstate homelessness, but what about an emergency? Where are you going to commute to if an emergency happens? Like the levees breaking in New Orleans, or the flooding that happened on the panhandle of Florida. What do? You just wait for it to happen? Or you live in a tornado alley in Arkansas. I mean, what do? Just wait for it to come and pray? I mean, what do? Do you do anything? Or you just wait for, well, whatever the will of God is. Or you just start singing, Jesus, keep me to the cross. I mean, what do you do? I mean, I'm just saying. I remember when Mount St. Helens erupted. I remember when Mount St. Helens erupted. It was a lot of people that just didn't leave. It was a lot of people that just couldn't leave. It was a lot of people that were not prepared to leave because they had been given warnings for a long time about Mount St. Helens. They had been given, and people just not, they just say, hey, you know, God is gonna, Jesus keep me near the cross. We're gonna fast and pray. But one day, guess what happened? It erupted. Is it a sin to be prepared for an emergency? Now, I know some people go overboard, but even if you go overboard, that just means you're more prepared. I mean, how do we protect our families? We have visions of all kinds of things. But when a real emergency comes, why don't the Most High give all these pastors in these churches visions on how to keep us safe? Why when an emergency is about to happen, you don't hear none of the pastors giving a sermon about emergency preparedness? Why is that? All these apostles and prophets and pastors and teachers and Bible thumpers. Why is that? These pastors are only preparing us to live from check to check. And not even that. And the reason why they have us living check to check, because that's what they're waiting for. Our check every week. They don't give a damn about us if we drown or burn. When that flood happened in Texas, those people went to Joel Osteen Church and they turned them away. He's a great man of God. Why didn't he warn the people about the flood way before? Why wasn't his church set up to receive his own members? I'm not even talking about the people on the outside of the church. Why he wasn't even prepared to receive his own members? With all that money that they give him, he wasn't even prepared for that. Hey son, how you doing? How was your day? Good, good. Good to see you. Yeah, these pastors, they'll preach about Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Jesus, Elijah, Daniel, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But everybody, while we're listening to them preach, guess what will be happening? We'll hear sirens in the neighborhood warning us to leave. Warning us to leave. And guess what we're doing? We're sitting in a church somewhere, listening to somebody preach a good sermon, and a big flood is about to come in. Nobody sees anything wrong with that type of optics. That's like an ostrich burying his head in the sand. Nobody see nothing wrong with that. They sending out all kinds of alerts on the radio, on TV, and guess where you at? In a prayer meeting, a Bible study. A tornado is coming and y'all sitting down, you know, having a Bible study on the book of Daniel. Nobody got no water, no canned food, no, there's no strategy, exit strategy, nothing. What's going on with us, y'all? Why are we like this? This is crazy. You mean to tell me the only thing that we're prepared for is destruction? Because if you're not prepared for an emergency, that's what you're prepared for. You've been preparing for destruction. You got wildfires all up in California and stuff. Happen every year for whatever reason, however they're happening. I don't care. They happen every year, and we just I got to go to work. I'm living check to check. Wildfire coming? Well, I can't worry about that. I got to go to work, or I'm going to get fired. What? A wildfire is coming your way, and you thinking about going to work? See, something is wrong, y'all. This is not making sense to me. And that's a good point, Perry Gibson. How can you have emergency preparedness and a pastor is asking $1,000 from each of his churches? He's enabling disaster. See, he's getting his emergency preparedness at our expense. But let's look at the rest of this clip, y'all.
This is what happens if I want to stay and do what I do.
And you do want to stay?
Yes. I'm fourth generation Californian and I'm being shoved out.
You're not going to let that happen.
Trying not to. Trying not to.
Night.
Night.
For CBS This Morning, Mireya Villarreal, San Jose, California.
Something's very out of whack there that you can be a professor at San Jose State University or any university and be living in your car and having to shower in a church.
And those aren't the images that you expect when you think of Silicon Valley either. I'm glad we did this story because people who are working are trying to make a real living and are having trouble living.
Yeah.
Finding a place to stay. Thank you, Mireya.
So, yeah, there's a huge housing crisis, y'all. There's a huge housing crisis. Let me say this, y'all. Trying to stop this. One thing that I'm learning, and I'm glad I had this experience when I was a single young man. I'm glad I experienced this because I was homeless. But it was more out of choice. I really didn't care, really, because I had a place to stay at night. I had several jobs, so I really didn't mind because I always had cash in my pocket. But I'm really, really, really I'm going to buy a travel trailer. Now, it was one that I was going to buy last year in December, but I said, I'm going to hold off a little bit. I'm going to hold off. I drive past it every day, but I'm going to hold off and just wait a little bit. Because when I buy this travel trailer, what I want to also do is get me a van to pull it. And what I want to do is go camping with my family. And I want to see how it feels to be out in nature in a trailer with your family. At the state park, we'll start off at the state park and stuff like that. And then I would like to travel a little bit. Like when I go visit people, I would like to have my trailer with me because I don't really like staying in hotels. Motels and hotels, I'm not feeling that. Stepping in other people's showers, sleeping in other people's bed, and smells and all that stuff. I'm not feeling that. I'll do it if I have to, but I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I would much rather take a longer time getting to where I gotta go to, even spending a little more gas money getting to where I gotta go to, and sleeping in some place that's secure that I own. I got my own stove, refrigerator, shower, tub, bed, table. All that stuff is in a trailer. And then I don't have to eat out. I can eat right in my trailer. Have my little supplies with me. You know, and just enjoy the trip. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Most of the people in California that are homeless are Caucasian people, y'all. Y'all, it's not even a comparison. I'm not saying that there are no black people that are not homeless in California. There are. But y'all, there's a lot of people that are working in California. They have jobs and they are homeless, y'all. It really, really is amazing. There was something else that I wanted to say about this situation. Hold on a second. I saw a video one time and the guy was a doctor and he was homeless. And I was like, wow, if this not a glitch in the matrix, what is? Go to school, get a good education, be a doctor or a lawyer, and you homeless? It's like, what went wrong? And he not on drugs. He not on drugs either. But he's homeless because he can't afford to live nowhere in California where he practiced medicine. So I don't know what all these people problems are. Sure, they can move. Sure, they can commute. But y'all, this housing crisis is really bad. I'm going to tell you something too. When I look at the ghettos, one thing that I see that bothers me, I see all the vacant lots and abandoned buildings. And I just be wondering, I be seeing auction, like in my neighborhood, every year they auction off homes. They need work, $600. Nobody even goes to the auctions. Nobody even goes to the auctions. They're auctioning homes and lots off for $600. Nobody's even interested. But let me tell you what's going to make people interested. When people start from outside the community, come in and start buying it and putting expensive homes on the property and start gentrifying it, then everybody's going to get excited. Everybody's going to want to buy up everything. But you've been watching this stuff happen right across the street from you. But soon as white mommy, white daddy come into the community and start buying up stuff and property taxes start going up, now you're concerned. When it should have been a concern when there was no competition. No competition. Nobody, you didn't have no rich person to compete with. $600. We don't get alarmed until we get threatened. The Most High didn't create us to be reactive. He created us to be proactive. Property taxes are very low here. The place that I'm living in is paid for. The most I'm going to have to pay for taxes in a year is probably maybe $1,000, $1,100. Could you imagine paying rent $1,100 a year? Could you imagine doing that? Could you imagine paying $1,100 a year for rent? A year. 1 year. I think it's a good idea. I think it's an excellent idea. This is the second home that I have owned free and clear. This is the second home I've owned free and clear. Well, technically the third. This is the third home I've owned free and clear. The amount that I pay for taxes is really what I consider my rent. What I pay in taxes a year, I consider that my rent. And let me say this, humble servant. I'm really looking into alternative ways of living. I know what they taught us how to live a certain way. I've built so many homes in my construction career. And I'm talking about million homes I would never want to build for myself. They just too crazy. 5 bedrooms, 4 garages, swimming pool. It's just too much. 3 stories above the ground, a big basement, wine cellar, safe room. It's portages. It's heated floors, 12-foot ceilings. I mean, palaces. They really are palaces. And only 2 people live in the house. Only 2 people living in the house. I'm like, man, this is a sin. It's gotta be a sin. How could 2 people live in a place like this? I know some people say, well, it's an investment. Yeah, okay, whatever. But I'm like, this is just crazy. The taxes, $20,000 a year. Just the taxes, $25,000 a year in taxes. I'm like, my God, this is crazy. A lot of these children that go to school and stuff, I think they would be better off just living in a travel trailer while they're going to school. Dorm living and all that riotous dorm living and debauchery. You better off just having a travel trailer and a truck. And when you go to school, you probably have your trailer at a trailer park or somewhere, or and drive to work and then come back home. The dorm life, it ain't nothing but debauchery, disease, excess, and sin. That's all it is. A huge orgy for 4 years. A huge orgy. And even if you're not involved in the orgy, you're desensitized by seeing it, by being in that environment. Your mind is being rewired, being in that type of environment. Exactly. Rape, drug, and just the whole ball of wax. And if your kid needs to go to a university and you don't want them to be in a trailer, we'll tell them, hey, you're going to have to go to the community college. You're going to have to go to the community college or the state college locally so we can keep an eye on you. And you're going to have to come home every night. So yeah, we need to be prepared, y'all. We need to have emergency preparedness. We need to be have something for a natural disaster. You know, even if you bought a tent, you should at least have a tent. You should at least have a tent, y'all. A tent? Come on, a tent you could buy a tent for $40. Okay. No, I don't want to live in nobody say you have to live in a travel trailer. Nobody's saying you have to live in a tent, but just have it. Just have it just in case. And know how to use it, because what you're doing, you're going on camping trips, you're seeing what you're going to need. By going on camping trips, what you do is you get to see what it's like to live in it, what type of things that you're going to need, what kind of tools you're going to need, how to care for it, how it feels to live in it in the summer, the winter, the fall. You just get a chance to see. You just get a chance to see. It's nothing wrong with owning a tent, y'all. A tent is so small you can put it in a backpack. But we ain't prepared for nothing. We ain't prepared for nothing. I mean, we really are dependent on white mommy and white daddy to come through for us in an emergency. And I'm going to tell you what, we're the last people they're going to be thinking about. We're going to be the last people that they're going to be thinking about. You see what happened in that Superdome over there in New Orleans, right? They had all them black people stacked up in that Superdome. And they talked about the black folk. They turned the Superdome into a ghetto. Duh. Yeah, they from the ghetto. There are no emergency services there. There's no garbage pickup there. So yeah, the place, it was going to be helter-skelter. There was no preparedness by the city. There was no preparedness by the individuals that were in the Superdome. So yeah, the place is going to be junky. Everybody that have mental issues, they're going to be running there. Everybody that's going to have chemical dependency issues, they're going to run to the Superdome. Everybody that's pregnant is going to run to the Superdome. Why? They have nowhere else to go. So yeah, the place is going to look like a ghetto. Yeah, toilets going to be overflowing. It's going to be sanitation issues and everything. Yeah, duh. The levee's breaking, y'all blaming black people for why something look ghetto. Y'all saw what happened. Y'all saw what happened in Texas. No, in Las Vegas, when that guy opened up fire on those people. You saw how nasty it was looking? You saw how much debris was there? Well, of course there was going to be a lot of debris on the street. It was a guy killing people. There was a mass shooter active. So yeah, that place is looking tore up. But nobody gave them the type of press that they gave those people that was in the Superdome. You notice that? They didn't talk about how nasty those white people was when they was running from their life from that shooter. But black people running from a flood. Oh, look, oh, they turned it into a ghetto. They was out there at that country music concert. They didn't say they turned this into, look at these white trash. They didn't say that. But black folks, they said, see, look at these niggas. They turned the Superdome into a ghetto. So I'm just saying this to let you know, in an emergency, y'all the last ones on, we are the last ones on the totem pole. They're not even thinking about helping us. I think it's a mistake for us to even think we're the last ones. They're not thinking about us. We got to prepare ourselves. We got to get in a situation where if an emergency pop off, we got enough gas. We don't have to be in no gas lines, and we could just drive out. We could just drive out on an unclogged up road and go to where we got to go to. The reason why so many people be in gas lines in an emergency is because they're not prepared. People not used to filling up their gas tank every night. Just in case. At least you can get 300 miles. I mean, something as simple as just fill up your gas tank every night. Just in case something pop off. You might not have no canned food, you might not have no water, but at least you can get away. At least you can get 300 miles. And that's a good point, Perry Gibson. I don't know if people are aware, but during an emergency, resources get very dangerous to come by. Tensions are very high during the time of a natural disaster, y'all. You're not just going to be able to go stand in line at the store, okay? Don't think that. Don't think you're just going to be able to go stand in line at the store like you normally do. No, no, no. You're going to have to keep your eyes open. People are ready to kill. Some people have mental issues and everything. Exactly. But that's one thing I want to do, because I used to live at a place, and boy, these people were so prepared. These people were prepared. They had a generator. So if the power went out from the city, they had their own generator. They had a powerful generator that ran the whole place. They had their own gas reserves. They had at least like 500 gallons of gas. And they used it all the time too. It wasn't something they just used in an emergency. They used it all the time to fill up the tractors, the lawnmowers, and all that kind of stuff. And when I saw that, I said, man, that's a good idea to have. Of course, they were in the country. They had a walk-in freezer. They had plenty water. They had gardens, stored food, dried food, beans. They had everything. If they got snowed in, they didn't even care. They got snowed in, they didn't even care. They was like, oh, okay, we snowed in for about a month. They was like, we snowed in for about a month. We went out and cut trees and stuff. We had plenty heat. We had so much heat that one of the fools almost burned the place down. He was a pyromaniac. We had so much heat, snowed in for 2 months, never had to leave. And they had enough stuff. They had enough stuff that they could stay in there the whole winter without leaving. That was really amazing to me. I said, wow, I never seen this. Gas, water, plenty of cheap junk food because you can easily burn it off. First aid kit. Exactly. You know, and that's not the type of stuff that you have to buy all at once. You could buy it piece by piece. But you know, one thing I noticed about that Paradise, California place that burnt down, none of those people was prepared. The people they interviewed, none of them was prepared for anything. And some people say that the fires that they were starting in California, are suspicious. And they, you know, some people were suspecting foul play. Well, whatever the play is, it's nice to be prepared in an emergency. Because one thing I'm going to do this year, I'm getting me a travel trailer. I'm going to get me a travel trailer. I'm going to make sure it's in tip-top shape. We're going to go camping this year in the travel trailer. Yes, we are. We're going to go camping. Even if it's just one night, we're going to go camping. We're going to have fun. We're going to be able to see what it's like living and sleeping in a travel trailer. So yeah, I just came on just to talk about homelessness, the homeless crisis, natural disaster, and emergency preparedness. They say that 49% of people in the United States, 49% of people in the United States don't have $300 for an emergency. 49% of families in the United States don't have access to just $300 in an emergency. That means every other person that you're looking at is not prepared for anything. So if you have $300 or $200 or $100 extra every month, you should buy something for preparedness. A little stove, exactly. Definitely learn to fish. Exactly. And if you go on YouTube and learn how to fish, the best way to get orientated with something is by watching somebody do it. Just watch them fish online, y'all. You don't even have to go nowhere. Just watch them fish right online. Same thing with hunting. You may have to hunt. Even if you're a vegan, you might have to hunt. You might have to hunt a deer. You know? Yeah, me too. Yeah, my father raised me fishing. And I keep me a fishing pole. Now, I don't go fishing that often, but I keep me a fishing pole. I keep me a fishing pole. A fishing pole is part of emergency preparedness. What's wrong with having a fishing pole in a tent, y'all? A fishing pole in a tent is too much? Come on. Come on, y'all. We waste way more money than that. We waste way more money on weed bundles than it costs to buy a, 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 a tent and a fishing pole. We waste way money on a gas jail. We waste way more money on a pair of Jordans. And you mean to tell me that we can't buy a tent, a sleeping bag, and a fishing pole? Come on. So if you had to, you might have to jump on some fish. Yeah. If you had to, just jump in the water and grab them. I wouldn't advise that, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. If he's big enough, and if you could swim, hey, go for it. Or get a big net. Just get a net. Get a net and just scoop the fish up. A lot of times you see fish like right there. You catch you a few little things and you fry them up. Have you a nice little meal. Clean them. I the only reason why I came on today is because people always talk about you want to go to school, get a good education, and da 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 da. But you're seeing all these people that got good education and they working at Walmart. They say 25% of people that work at Walmart have advanced degrees and they're cashiers. 25%. I'm like, wow. That is alarming. But the baby boomer generation, what did they tell us? Go to school, get a good education, and everything is going to be all right. White daddy's going to bless you. The government going to bless you. The government ain't blessed us since we've been here. The government ain't blessed us since we've been here. We still at the bottom. So we need to stop looking at these people as our standard. We need to stop aspiring to their education as our standard. And we need to start doing the things that the Bible told us in Jeremiah, I want to say 29:4 and 5. Let me see. I think a lot of this stuff could be forestalled if we just listen to the Most High. He told us what to do when we went into captivity. And I think this is a good safeguard against all these type of disasters. When you're close to the land, it really is a safeguard against all these things: homelessness, natural disaster, and emergency preparedness. I think the remedy that the Most High gave us is a wonderful and effective. Who's here? Hello? I guess I'm the only one here. Oh, who's here? Who else? Oh, they went somewhere? Oh, okay. But Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 4. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, to whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem into Babylon. Build ye houses. So it's supposed to be a whole bunch of Israelites that are carpenters, plumbers, electricians, heating and air conditioning, painters, floor installers, drapery makers, anything that deals with a home, roofers, siding, excavators. There's a whole genre. There's a whole genre of things that's associated with home building. Architects, builders. You're going to have lumberjacks. People got to cut down trees. So you're talking about a whole industry. You're going to need mechanics to work on machines, to build houses and service the trucks that deliver stuff to the homes, the sites. So it's a whole lot of stuff that's associated with home building. It says, build ye houses and dwell in them and plant gardens. Okay, now, so you got housing and food and housing. These are two major things that you need for a nation to survive and thrive. It says, the first thing it says is build houses and dwell in them. And after you build a house, plant a garden. This is a commandment, y'all. Most Israelites wear fringes, but most Israelites don't have a garden. Most Israelites have never had a garden before, but they wear fringes and borders of blue. You can't eat fringes and borders of blue. You can't avoid GMOs with fringes and borders of blue. But if you grow your own food, you can avoid GMOs and pesticides. I'm not speaking against fringes and borders of blue. I'm just saying some things should take priority. We're more interested in how we look than the food that we're putting in our body, which is crazy. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives. Now, so after you build a house, plant a garden, get married. Build a family. Let's say you don't want to get married. Fine. If you don't want to get married, link up with a family and help them build their family then. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Take ye wives and beget children, sons and daughters, and take wives to your sons and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished. The Bible says that we shouldn't be a minority. The Bible says in the land of our captivity, we should not stay a minority. I'll say it again because it might be going over some people's head. The Bible says in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 6, that we should not be a minority after we've been here so long. He said we should increase. My brother, and I will start micro framing with micro farming in the land. Grandparents' lessons. I learned how to work the tractor and plow and till. Well, that's a beautiful thing. I wish I had some land. But right now, I'm not really looking for no land right now, because what I'll do, I will get my travel trailer. I could build a house anywhere. I'll get my travel trailer and I will build a structure onto the side of my travel trailer. So I could pull it into it and pull it away from it, and it'd be secure when I leave. And the stove and refrigerator and all that stuff will be inside the travel trailer when I leave it, when I take it with me. And when I bring it with me and attach it to the structure, I'll just have the door where the door opens up into the structure that I built. And it'd be like a living room or dining room or something like that. But the bathroom, the kitchen, and everything else will be in the travel trailer. It leaves with me. So, and it will be heated. It will have its own wood burning stove and all that kind of stuff. I would like to try to do something like that right here in the place where I live, the city I live. Because I understand, I was looking at some of the codes here. If you have a trailer and you put it on a property, you don't even have to pay property taxes. If you have a trailer and there's no structure on it, building on it, but it's a trailer on it, you don't have to pay property taxes. But I want to look into the codes of that with more scrutiny. And they say that as long as there is a trailer on the property and it's attached to a structure, you don't have to pay property taxes on the structure. And so that's a way of getting around. You could build a huge place as long as there's a trailer there. And then they count that as like a mobile home just because there's a trailer on the property. So I'm going to look into that more. I want to look into that more because I want to tell you there is a need for affordable housing all over the country. There is a need. If you could think of a way to build affordable housing, you could become a billionaire. You know, like they have those Habitat for Humanity homes that they build everywhere. Well, the reason why those things are so popular is because they're affordable. And I think the people that build them are basically volunteers that be building the houses. So they be like building them for free. I'm going to tell you something. I would build a place that is as small as a garage. I would build a place that is small as a 2-car garage, divide it up, have a little kitchen, a bathroom, and a big room. That's it. And a bedroom. That's it, y'all. And I would sell that thing. You could build a garage for like 10 grand. You could build a garage for 10 grand. Divide it up. I think these houses are way too big, y'all. Especially when you're single, you don't need all that. It don't take all of that. A single person, if they can live in an apartment, they can live in a place that's the size of a 2-car garage. A lot of these apartments are no bigger than a 2-car garage. They're smaller than a 2-car garage. When I look at some of these senior high-rise buildings and stuff, I go into their little place. That place is small. It's about the size of a 1-car, 2-car garage, 1.5 car garage. If you want affordable housing, just stay away from Jews. You got that right. I think that's something that everybody should have is affordable housing. You know, everybody building these 2-story homes and These fabulous single family homes, you know, in the ghetto, there should be single family. They should be like houses that look just like garages. People just, they're starter home, people just starting out, or people fell on hard times, just have a starter home. Put about 4 or 5 people in that house and y'all go to work. Bill's going to be very low because the place is low. The bills is low. The cost of the place is low. You get about 4 or 5 people living in there, getting some bunk beds and stuff. Y'all go to work, y'all eat, y'all get along. And guess what? Y'all get that place paid for. Then you could put an addition onto the place. You could build the place out as your family grows. But we start off in homes. You know, it's crazy. There should be way more reasonable sized starter homes in the United States. There should be way more. You got all these single people. Single people don't need a whole house. They need a house that's about the size of a garage. It look decent. They're warm. They got a roof over their head, a tub, a shower, a sink, a bed. And they're happy. They're not homeless. They're making these houses so big that you're forced to buy a house bigger than what you need. So now you got to put out more money than you want to spend. But I don't know no place where they build houses the size of garages. I don't know no place that does that. I done built houses everywhere. I've never seen houses as small as a garage. Now I've seen apartment complexes. You got all these single couples that get married and stuff. They should have a starter home the size of a garage. It don't mean you have to stay in a garage, a house the size of a garage, but you can start there. You can own it free and clear, and you could be saving money. Instead of using most of your income to support your housing, you could be using most of your money to save. But our parents taught us, you know, you got to go buy a big house. Your first house got to be a big house. You got to ball out. You got to show that you got your master's degree. So since you got a master's degree, I want you to live like a master. So go buy a house that's bigger than you and your wife. And even if you had children, the house still be too big. But with a starter home that's the size of a garage, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You could be in that place and be brand new. You're the first person to sit on the toilet. You're the first person to bathe in the tub. You're the first person to walk up across the floor. Why? Because it's yours. All the sense in the house is directly from your body, from your lifestyle, your cooking, your foods. These houses are way too big. I even look at some of these houses in my neighborhood that are old houses. They too big for even a single person. They just too big. Even if they remodel it and everything, it's going to take way too much money to remodel a big house that's made for a single family if you're a single person. And even if you're not single, it's just you and your wife. It's going to take way too much money of your resources to remodel the place because it's made for about 6 people and it's only 2 of y'all. But if the houses were smaller and they were older, you'd be able to go in there and fix them up real quick. You wouldn't have to do a whole lot of spending because the houses are so small. Decorate it the way you want it. Put a new toilet in, a new shower, new tub, whatever you need. flooring, paint, and guess what? You got you a new crib, paid for. Paid for. You take care of your taxes and you all good. You ain't got no monthly rent coming in that you got to spend. This is the kind of stuff I want to hear preachers talk about. This is the kind of stuff, practical stuff, that I don't hear them talking about. It's like they don't care about us. They don't care about our struggles. All they care about is getting that money once a week. You know. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Everybody wants to be a big shot. Exactly. Exactly. But y'all, yeah, check out some of those videos, y'all, about the housing crisis and getting prepared, and think about these things, you know. Can I build a pole shed? Oh, absolutely. They had all kind of, yeah, they got, yeah, you could build a pole shed, a pole barn. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I could build anything. Yeah. I wish when I was building homes, I should have took more pictures of the places that I built. I built so many houses, it's ridiculous. Apartment buildings, Holiday Inns, skyscrapers, all kinds of stuff. Single family home, mansions, $1 million homes, luxury homes. I done built everything. Tiny houses, dog houses, bird houses. I done built tree houses, all kinds of stuff. Decks, everything. Remodeled bathrooms, whole houses, gutted houses. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. I can't even think of all the stuff that I built. I can't even think of all the stuff that I built for other people. Now, I did put an addition onto this house. I couldn't build my wife a new house, but I did put an addition on the house that I'm living in right now. It's a substantial size addition too. I probably added an extra 1,000 square feet to this house. And it was needed. It really was needed. I really needed, because it's like 7 of us living here. So, and I wanted to have room that just in case I needed to house guests, family members, and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, the Most High said we supposed to build houses, you know? You know, when you meet an Israelite, you're supposed to be able to meet somebody who have some hand in building, some know-how in building a house. And if they don't know how to build a house, they should know something about gardening. So those are 2 things that the Most High specifically mentions that's supposed to identify Israelites: home building. And it's a lot of things, other things that's associated with home building, and gardening. It's a lot of stuff that's associated with gardening. Trucking is involved with gardening, food production, same thing with, you know, so you're gonna have a whole industry of mechanics. Why? Because you're gonna have to have machinery to bring that stuff, transport stuff. So yeah, so you know, so there's a lot of implied things that are hidden when he mentioned building homes and gardens. What goes along with that? Trucking, automobile, transportation. You can't have house building and not have transportation. You can't have gardening and not have transportation. So you're going to have mechanics, engineers, what you call those, machinists, making parts for cars. You're going to have all kinds of stuff. Everything that you need to run a society. Whenever you have houses and gardens, you're gonna need everything. You're gonna need stores, retail. You're gonna need everything. You need barbers, hairstylists. I mean, the Most High is telling us, and I mean, if you go back to Genesis, the first thing that the Most High did in creation was built us a house. He created the earth. That's our house. And then he started furnishing the earth. That's the same exact thing we read in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 5. So the blueprint of what to do in captivity, Jeremiah 29, 5 and 6, is the same thing we see in Genesis chapter 1. So the Most High is giving us a blueprint of how to be successful in captivity. So why are we not as successful? Because we don't trust his plan. We still looking at the blueprint that white mommy, white daddy gave us. We got one right in the Bible, but it's, you know, that one's like, oh, that's boring, you know. But we homeless on it, ain't that something? But we homeless on it, ain't that something? I don't know what you mean, CG. Like, okay. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. You all take it easy. This is Prophet Road. Hey, not B. Signing out. Saying shalom. May the Most High bless you all and keep you. Have a wonderful day, evening, and I'm out. Bye. Yeah. Yeah, Perry Gibson. I'm sitting back waiting to see how this thing is going to play itself out. It's not that I can't believe that the brothers may have done it. I could believe it. If they did it, they did it, you know. But who saw a white man? That's what I want to know. Who saw a white man? That's what I'm trying. That's what's muddy about the story. So I'm not gonna throw the brothers under the bus right away. I still got a wait and see attitude about this because it's a lot of conflicting information and a lot of chains are being pulled right now. So yeah, it sounds real strange. So I don't really have nothing to say about it because, you know, it's just too much misinformation that's being spewed. You know, they showed a picture of a white guy, but now it's two black guys. They showed you a picture of the red vehicle, and now they said that wasn't the vehicle. So what, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an opinion because I just don't know. And I'm watching all these people come out with opinions about this. And I think that they're doing it prematurely. Just sit back and relax. Everybody want to be the first one to get the views for breaking the story or cracking the code and all this kind of stuff. You know, just sit down and be quiet. You know, you don't know, you wasn't there. Just take it easy. We don't know what happened. We had no clue what happened. So let's just sit back and, see if it come out in the wash. If it don't come out in the wash, it'll come out in the rinse. Well, anyway, all right, y'all, I'm out of here.